Hi, this is Chris. Thank you for coming back and joining me again at my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so below. Like and thumbs up if you enjoy the video. So today what I'm doing is a challenge in which I need to do a diagonal layout. So I'm taking 3 photos of my grandson, and it's a series of him learning how to jump in the pool. Big step for every 3-year-old. And I want to get it so that it shows the progression of him jumping in. So I'm going in, cutting these down to 4 by 4 to start with to see if that's how I want to do it. I've picked out these 3 pieces of paper. One is from Bella Boulevard. I'm not sure where the other one came from. It came obviously from a paper pad. And then I have another, the diagonal one, which I end up not even using in the end. So I was trying to look for something that was more summer pool layout type of photos. So I picked the cloud photo because it was a beautiful sunny day. And then I have the Bella Boulevard that has the hearts with the XOXO, which of course I love my grandson. So here I'm going to struggle a little bit, but I fold this piece of paper in half on the diagonal so that I can go ahead and start my diagonal layout. I'm going to end up having the bottom portion of the layout be the Bella Boulevard heart and XO paper, and then the upper part be the clouds and the sun, kind of keeping it to a realistic, the sky is always in the top. So here you can see I'm folding it in half and trying to give it a good crease to follow along. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it in half. So this challenge that I'm doing is actually part of Nicole Jones' Scrapathon 4. I highly recommend you go to NicoleJones911.com and join her class. It's a wonderful 31 days of videos and prompts, a Facebook group, and a lot of lessons from someone like Nicole who's been scrapping for a long time like myself. And it just is a good way of getting you in your scrap room for a month and getting some layouts done. So here I'm going ahead and adhering that sky paper to the Bella Boulevard paper. Now if you wanted to conserve it, you could also cut the bottom piece as well on a diagonal and maybe put it on a piece of cardstock or the back of a paper that you don't care for. Wasn't sure how I was going to lay out the pictures, and I decided to go with the progression of him jumping in. So you show the first one of him actually jumping off the ledge, the second one of him actually getting in, and the third making the big splash and actually progressing into the pool. So I've gone ahead and I'm attaching the 3 photos together to make it easier to move around. And I've decided I just wanted to cover up the cement portion of the pool. The brown sitting there didn't look good, and I wanted to make it, kind of cover up the details you don't like. So I'm looking at this orange paper. I want to bring in more of the summer colors that go with the icons or the embellishments you see on the right-hand side of my desk. And I'm kind of looking at that, and then I decide to go through. I have the Simple Stories 6x8 pad, and I'm just looking to see if there's any other papers that I can layer underneath. So I pick out this one paper that says "You Got This," which I thought was appropriate for a 3-year-old learning how to jump and get his face in the water. Then there was this other paper that had more of a wavy look for a pool. And then I pick out another one that says, I believe it's like good vibes only. And I thought possibly I could fussy cut those out. And then I grabbed again another piece of the water looking paper. So I decided that was enough to audition. So I'm looking at it again. I thought about possibly bumping the pictures up so that the top and the bottom pictures were on the edges and then trying to layer in, but I didn't like that as much. So I bring it back down to the center again, and I'm just trying to see how I can lay these papers in. So I did the wave, and then I went to go see if I wanted to cut a strip of this orange paper to put behind. And as I was getting ready to cut, I really liked the diagonal pattern on it, So I decided that what I really wanted to do was to bring in the oranges to fussy cut this diagonal pattern out to use along the middle edge. So to save you, I just went ahead and cut that part of the video out so you didn't have to painfully watch me cutting it. Now what I'm going to do is this again, I'm going to put it up along the edge. Now I don't need it to go all the way through the middle because the pictures obviously will cover it up and no one will know that underneath the pictures there's a gap. So I put that there, and it's just going to peek out, but it's just enough to bring in some of the brighter colors that are going to be in the die cuts. And I had to move it down a little bit. The one end was not, was kind of coming off the page, so I actually had to go off the edge, and then what I do is trim it up so that you get a cleaner edge and not any jagged cuts. So I'm going to throw that away, and then I'm looking at it, and I just decided at this point I just didn't like the blue paper behind it, so I decided I'm not going to use it right now, and I'm like, I'm just going to go and see what the embellishments look like. So I after looking at the paper, I grab the die cuts, and I just start going through and placing them along the diagonal. So I grab the flamingo, the fun, and I just start laying these all out and trying to get the diagonal pattern going up and clustering in each of the corners of the pictures as they go. And so I like the summer. The sun says soak up the sun, so I put that on. Again, perfect. Now this is a boy layout, but I don't think that flowers are a bad thing on any layout, so I go ahead and put those on. We're not in Florida or anything, we're actually in Kentucky, but to me, oranges I'll call warmth and sun and fun, and so that's kind of what we're going for in this layout. So I'm flipping through and grabbing out anything I can find. I find some of these little flowers. And then there was a scrap from a piece of pattern paper that had the same floral pattern on it. So I fussy cut that out so I had one more to use. And it's another way of making utilizing your paper is to find the patterns and fussy cut them out and use them as part of your embellishments. And then I have the pineapple that says Hello Summer. And I just keep going through the pile, just trying to find whatever will look bright. And you're going to see coming up in a moment, there's the perfect I end up using for my title is a card you'll see underneath the stack that says Splish Splash. And that made me excited when I saw it because that was exactly what this was all about, is making splashes in the water. So that's going to end up being my title. And here's where I spied it and said, yep, there's my title. So now I'm just adding a couple more finishing touches and putting some more flowers down. And that's going to be pretty much what the style of the layout's going to be. So I didn't see anything else I liked, and I didn't want to go overwhelmed. And I did look at those papers again and thought about fussy cutting them out, but I really felt like I had enough words and enough dies to be on there that I really didn't need any more. So I just started hearing everything down. So I'm hearing the Splish Splash, and I'm going to tuck that palm leaf underneath that. And then to lift it up, I'm going to grab my foam dots and start putting those underneath the flowers. And you'll see I also have that fun foam as well. The first foam dot I tried, I didn't like it. It was a little bit too high. So I grab out these that I have from Michael's. And this is just a good thrifty tip. You'll see I've used all the circular pieces out of the pop dots. However, save the outside. It also has adhesive on it, and I just cut those up and use them and make them into my pop dots. So you're utilizing the whole package and not the pre-cut dots that they have in those pop dot packages. So I'm throwing those underneath the flowers to give it a little dimension. And then I'm going to tuck the, once I have those done, I'm going to tuck the beach ball underneath the bottom right hand corner, and I find another flower that I'm going to go ahead and pop down there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and the flamingo, I'm going to end up popping him up on some, oh, I know, first I'm going to go through and I'm going to adhere the pictures down, but you'll see I'm only putting the adhesive towards the center. I'm leaving the outside edges of the pictures without adhesive. That's another tip for when you're adding your embellishments and you want to have things tucking in and on top. If you put the adhesive to the center, it allows you to be able to tuck things in easily without hitting that adhesive. So now I've gone ahead and I've put everything down and I've gotten items popped up and take a look at it, and I decide that, you know, this is enough for me. I could have added more enamel dots or sparkles, but sometimes, you know, just having the embellishments by themselves is more than enough. So I decide that's it, and here is some close-ups of my layout. I hope you enjoyed my video. I am currently on a spending freeze, so I'm in my stash trying to dig out some of my products that haven't been used in a while. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, give me a thumbs up, comment, and like my channel if you liked what you saw. Have a great day.